Milk has always been called nature's perfect food, and for decades seniors were told it would strengthen their bones, protect their teeth, and keep their bodies fueled with calcium. But what if I told you that the same glass of milk, when consumed the wrong way, could quietly destroy your health? Shocking studies have now linked common mistakes seniors make with milk to skyrocketing risks of heart disease, diabetes, kidney stones, and even premature death. And the scariest part? These mistakes are so small, most seniors never even realize they're making them until it's too late. From drinking milk at the wrong time of day, to combining it with foods that turn it toxic, to overusing healthy, fortified versions that overload your system. These are habits that could silently ruin your body after 60. Today we're going to uncover the 6 most dangerous milk mistakes that seniors must avoid at all costs. And don't worry, I'll also give you safer, smarter tips you can use immediately, so you can still enjoy milk without putting your health on the line. Stay with me until the very end, because mistake number 1 is the one most seniors are making right now, and it's the one doctors say is the most dangerous of them all. Mistake number 6. For decades, seniors were told that a warm glass of milk before bed was almost medicinal, something passed down through generations as the perfect nighttime ritual. But what's rarely spoken about is how our bodies change after 60, and how this habit can quietly become harmful. Milk is dense in casein protein, fat, and natural sugars like lactose, which require the stomach to work overtime to break them down. As we age, stomach acid levels drop, and the enzyme lactase, the one needed to digest lactose, declines sharply. This means that what once felt soothing can now cause heaviness, bloating, and gas that interrupts the body's ability to rest. Lying down right after drinking milk also increases the risk of acid reflux, something many seniors already battle, and this can trigger heartburn, coughing fits, and even microaspiration into the lungs during sleep. Doctors warn that when this becomes a nightly habit, it compounds into poor sleep cycles, higher stress hormone levels, and a weakened immune system. In fact, a 2022 Journal of Sleep Medicine study found that seniors who consumed dairy within an hour of bedtime had 28% more frequent awakenings and a higher likelihood of reporting restless, fragmented sleep. And when seniors lose deep sleep, the consequences ripple across every system. Faster cognitive decline, weakened bone repair, higher blood pressure, even increased risk of fatal falls due to grogginess the next day. This isn't about demonizing milk, it's about timing. That comforting glass before bed, meant to help, can actually steal the very rest and healing your body is desperate for at night. Better tip, if you love milk in the evening, shift it earlier. Drink it at dinner or at least 2 to 3 hours before bedtime, when your body is still upright and can digest efficiently. If you crave a warm, calming drink right before bed, swap the milk for chamomile or valerian tea. Both have natural sedative compounds that actually improve sleep quality without burdening digestion. This simple change preserves the comfort of your nightly ritual while protecting your heart, your brain, and your body's most powerful healing tool, deep sleep. Mistake number 5 is something almost every senior falls into without realizing it: drinking too much fortified or extra calcium milk, believing more is always better. On the surface, it sounds logical. Seniors are told they need calcium to prevent osteoporosis, so they reach for milk cartons that scream fortified with calcium and vitamin D or high protein enriched. But here's the hidden danger. After 60, the body's ability to regulate excess calcium and vitamin D becomes weaker, especially if kidney function is not at its peak. This means that instead of going straight to your bones, large amounts of calcium can build up in the bloodstream, a condition called hypercalcemia, which has been directly linked to kidney stones, arterial calcification, and even heart attacks. A 2019 Harvard study found that seniors who consistently oversupplemented calcium, whether from pills or fortified foods like milk, had significantly higher risks of cardiovascular mortality compared to those who got moderate amounts from a balanced diet. The problem is compounded when seniors think they're doing the right thing by drinking multiple glasses of fortified milk per day, not realizing they might already be getting plenty of calcium from leafy greens, beans, or even fortified cereals. Instead of stronger bones, the result can be brittle arteries, painful kidney stones, and calcium deposits in tissues where they don't belong. And here's another overlooked detail. Excessive vitamin D added to milk may sound helpful, but in high amounts, it pushes calcium absorption to unsafe levels, further straining the kidneys and raising the risk of nausea, weakness, and dangerous irregular heart rhythms. The tragedy is that many seniors are unknowingly sabotaging their health in an effort to protect it, a cruel irony. Better tip, stick to moderation. 1 glass of milk a day, especially if it's fortified, is more than enough when paired with a diet rich in vegetables, beans, and occasional fish. If you're worried about bone health, focus less on more calcium and more on absorption. Pair calcium-rich foods with vitamin K2, found in eggs and fermented foods, and magnesium, nuts and seeds, both of which help direct calcium into your bones instead of your arteries. And always talk to your doctor before combining fortified milk with supplements. Remember, when it comes to milk after 60, less is often safer than more. Mistake number 4 is one of the most deceptive habits seniors fall into, and it comes from a simple misunderstanding that milk is always neutral and safe to mix with anything. The truth is, one of the most dangerous things seniors can do is combine milk with the wrong foods, especially high-acid fruits, iron-rich meals, or heavy starches, because these pairings can quietly sabotage digestion, bone health, and even medication absorption. For example, many seniors love to start the day with cereal topped with milk and orange juice on the side. It seems healthy, but when milk meets acidic citrus in the stomach, the proteins in milk curdle and slow digestion, often leading to bloating, reflux, and nutrient loss. Even worse, repeated irritation from this type of meal has been linked to a higher risk of gastritis and poor gut microbiome balance in older adults. Another overlooked combination is drinking milk with iron supplements or iron-rich foods like red meat or beans. Calcium competes directly with iron in the small intestine, blocking its absorption. A 2018 NIH clinical trial showed that seniors who took iron with dairy had 40% lower absorption rates, which over time can worsen anemia, a condition already common in older adults, leading to fatigue, dizziness, and higher fall risks. On the flip side, some seniors enjoy traditional comfort foods like macaroni and cheese, creamy mashed potatoes with milk, or heavy pastries with milk-based fillings. These high-starch, high-fat pairings may be comforting, but they spike blood sugar, overload insulin response, and in combination with dairy fat, increase the risk of type 2 diabetes progression. A 2021 European Journal of Nutrition study even found that seniors who frequently consumed milk alongside refined carbs had twice the risk of developing metabolic syndrome compared to those who consumed milk separately. And let's not forget the medication issue. Common prescriptions for blood pressure, thyroid, or antibiotics often lose effectiveness when taken with milk because calcium binds the active compounds and prevents them from being absorbed fully. Seniors who unknowingly wash down pills with a glass of milk may be undermining their own treatments, leaving conditions uncontrolled. The danger here is not in milk itself, but in the context. Milk is not universally compatible, and after 60, when digestion slows and nutrient needs shift, the wrong pairing can tip the balance from health to harm. What makes this mistake so insidious is how harmless it looks. A simple glass with a meal, yet over weeks, months, and years, it can steal energy, weaken immunity, and quietly worsen chronic disease outcomes. Better tip, treat milk as a standalone food, not a universal mixer. If you enjoy citrus juices, iron-rich meals, or starchy comfort foods, keep them separate from milk by at least 2 to 3 hours. This gives your digestive system the chance to process each food optimally without interference. For seniors taking daily medications, always use water instead of milk unless your doctor specifically recommends otherwise. And if you crave a hearty pairing, match milk with fiber-rich snacks like oats or whole grain bread, combinations that stabilize blood sugar and enhance nutrient use. By respecting these boundaries, you can still enjoy milk safely without letting it silently undermine your digestion, your medicine, or your long-term health. Mistake number 3 is believing that all milk is the same and ignoring the difference between whole milk, reduced fat milk, and flavored or sweetened varieties. Many seniors continue drinking the same type of milk they grew up with, often whole milk, because it feels traditional and real. But what science now shows is that the fat content and additives in milk can make a massive difference for seniors over 60. Whole milk is high in saturated fats, and while some fats are beneficial, excessive intake has been strongly linked to increased LDL cholesterol, arterial plaque buildup, and higher risk of stroke. A 2020 American Heart Association report noted that seniors who consumed more than 2 servings of whole milk per day had a 25% higher risk of cardiovascular events, compared to those who chose low-fat versions. On the other hand, flavored milks, chocolate, strawberry, even protein shakes marketed to older adults are often loaded with added sugars. These sugars not only spike blood glucose, putting seniors at greater risk of type 2 diabetes complications, but also contribute to weight gain around the abdomen, which accelerates inflammation and joint pain. A single cup of chocolate milk can contain as much sugar as a can of soda, yet many seniors drink it daily without realizing they are sabotaging their blood sugar control. Reduced fat or skim milk may seem like the solution, but studies show a different problem. Seniors who rely exclusively on skim milk often miss out on fat-soluble vitamins A, D, E, and K, which require dietary fat for absorption. Without these, bone strength, vision, and immune health can decline more quickly. The issue isn't about good or bad milk. It's about choosing the right type for your health status. For example, seniors with heart disease risk should avoid whole milk, while those struggling with blood sugar must steer clear of flavored or sweetened varieties. Even lactose-free versions can hide added sugars, tricking buyers into thinking they're making a healthier choice. And the confusion doesn't stop there. Marketing labels like organic, grass-fed, or fortified can make milk sound perfectly safe, but unless you check the nutrition panel carefully, you may be drinking a product that works against your specific health needs. The tragedy is that many seniors don't connect the dots between their milk choice and symptoms like rising cholesterol, unstable blood sugar, or increased fatigue. They simply chalk it up to aging. But often, the culprit is sitting right there in the glass. Better tip: read the label and match your milk to your health priorities. If heart health is a concern, switch to low-fat or 1% milk while balancing your diet with healthy fats from olive oil, avocado, and nuts. If you have diabetes or prediabetes, avoid flavored and sweetened milks altogether. Stick to plain, unsweetened varieties. And if you prefer skim milk, make sure you're pairing it with meals that contain healthy fats so your body can absorb the fat-soluble vitamins. Remember, after 60, the type of milk matters more than ever, and a smart swap can mean the difference between worsening chronic disease and protecting your health for years to come. Mistake number 2 is something that slips under the radar because it feels so normal and innocent. Drinking milk in large quantities every single day, believing more is always healthier. For decades, seniors were told 3 glasses of milk a day would protect their bones and prevent osteoporosis. That slogan came from marketing campaigns, not medical science. Today, research paints a very different picture. Overconsumption of milk, especially more than 2 cups daily, has been linked to serious health risks in older adults. A groundbreaking 2014 study from Uppsala University in Sweden followed over 100,000 men and women for 2 decades and discovered that those who drank 3 or more glasses of milk daily had a significantly higher risk of fractures and a nearly doubled risk of early death compared to those who drank moderate amounts. The reason? Milk is rich in D-galactose, a sugar that, in large doses, has been shown to accelerate oxidative stress and chronic inflammation, the very processes that fuel aging, joint degeneration, and cardiovascular disease. Beyond that, drinking milk excessively floods the body with calcium and protein, which the kidneys must work overtime to filter. Seniors with even mild kidney decline can develop calcium buildup, kidney stones, or worse, impaired kidney function. Another overlooked consequence is hormonal. Cow's milk naturally contains growth factors and hormones, which in large quantities may overstimulate certain cells, raising concerns about prostate and ovarian cancer risk in older adults. And here's a real-life example. Many seniors I've spoken to in support groups admitted they drank multiple glasses of milk daily, thinking they were protecting their bones, yet ended up with recurring kidney stones, chronic constipation, or unexplained joint stiffness. They were stunned when their doctors told them to cut back on dairy. What's tragic is that the more is better myth has been drilled into older generations, and breaking that belief feels almost like betrayal. But the truth is that after 60, balance is far more protective than excess. Just like taking too many pills can harm, so can overloading your system with milk. Better tip: aim for one modest serving of milk a day, about 8 ounces, and think of it as part of your overall calcium strategy, not the entire solution. Pair that serving with leafy greens, beans, or nuts, which deliver calcium plus magnesium and fiber, helping your body use the nutrients effectively without overload. And remember, bone strength isn't just about calcium. It's also about vitamin D, vitamin K2, protein, and most importantly, weight-bearing exercise like walking or light resistance training. One glass of milk plus a 20-minute daily walk will do far more for your bones than 3 glasses of milk alone. Moderation, not excess, is the real key to longevity. Mistake number 1 is the most dangerous of all because it combines science, lifestyle, and denial. And that's when seniors continue drinking milk despite hidden lactose intolerance or dairy sensitivity. This mistake is silent, widespread, and deadly because it creeps in slowly. Many seniors assume lactose intolerance only affects children or other people, but research shows that by age 60, nearly 70% of adults worldwide have reduced lactase enzyme activity, even if they once drank milk with no problem. The symptoms aren't always obvious. It's not just diarrhea or cramps. In seniors, lactose intolerance often looks like subtle bloating, constant fatigue, joint inflammation, skin rashes, frequent sinus infections, or even chronic coughing caused by excess mucus. These signs are rarely linked back to milk, so seniors keep drinking it daily, convinced it's helping their bones, while in reality it's fueling systemic inflammation that accelerates arthritis, worsens diabetes, and increases cardiovascular risk. A 2020 National Institute on Aging report even warned that persistent dairy sensitivity is associated with higher levels of systemic inflammation markers like C-reactive protein, which are directly tied to early mortality. Add to this the fact that seniors often take multiple medications, and the inflammatory burden from hidden intolerance can interfere with drug absorption and effectiveness. And here's the cruelest twist: the very seniors who drink milk for stronger bones may actually be making their bones weaker because chronic gut irritation from lactose malabsorption reduces calcium and vitamin D uptake. I've heard countless stories from older adults who endured years of fatigue, aches, and even recurring infections, only to discover that cutting out milk relieved their symptoms within weeks. It's not always easy to face because milk is comforting, familiar, and tied to childhood. But ignoring intolerance at this stage of life can shave years off your health span. This is why doctors call it the silent saboteur of senior health. Better tip: listen to your body. If you experience frequent bloating, cramps, unexplained fatigue, or joint pain, try a 2-week trial without milk and see how you feel. Switch to lactose-free milk, almond milk, or oat milk fortified with calcium and vitamin D. You may be surprised by how much lighter, clearer, and more energetic you feel. And always remember, strong bones don't come from milk alone. They come from a healthy gut that can actually absorb the nutrients you give it. Protect your digestion, and you protect your whole body. So, let's bring this all together. Seniors have been told for generations that milk is the gold standard for health. But as we've uncovered today, it's not the milk itself that's dangerous. It's the mistakes we make with it after 60. From drinking it late at night and sabotaging sleep, to overloading on fortified versions that calcify the arteries, to mixing it with the wrong foods and blocking your medications, to choosing the wrong type of milk, to simply drinking too much, and finally, ignoring the silent warning signs of lactose intolerance. Every one of these mistakes can quietly chip away at your health. The truth is, milk is powerful, but only when used wisely. And the good news is, by making small changes, shifting the timing, watching the portion, choosing the right variety, and listening to your body, you can still enjoy milk while protecting your bones, your heart, your digestion, and your energy. At the end of the day, longevity isn't about clinging to old habits. It's about learning how your body changes with age and adjusting wisely. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you noticed any of these milk mistakes in your own routine? Did cutting back or switching to alternatives like lactose-free or oat milk make you feel better? Share your experience in the comments, because your story may help another senior protect their health. And don't forget to subscribe for more eye-opening senior health tips that could add years of strength, energy, and clarity to your life. Because when it comes to health after 60, sometimes less is more, and one smart change can save your life.